Welcome to the One Star Weak Foot Show, FIFA 21 edition, starring your host, One Star Weak Foot, and our review specialist, One Star Weak Foot. Bow! Good evening, beautiful people of YouTube, and welcome to the One Star Weak Foot Show, your one-stop shop for player reviews. I'm going to be your host today, One Star Weak Foot, and it makes me feel absolutely amazing to see you back on the channel. Thank you as always for clicking this video. So, as you guys know, we have finally gotten the prince that was promised, the SBC that was accidentally leaked a few days ago, Flashback Kroos. And this is a card that I was very excited for, and I was worried, all right? Because we have had cards like this, like Footmas Jesus, that were leaked, and next thing you know, they just never happen. They never get released. They never get the SBC out. I thought this Kroos was going to be the same thing. But alas, we have finally received this SBC today, and we're going to talk about it. So you might be wondering what formation I'm using him in, what role I'm using him in, because he seems like a card that could fit a lot of roles. So let me show you guys the custom tactics real quick. And these are some tactics I've been experimenting with. These are tactics that my thumbnail maker, Raul, actually inspired me to try out. It's a 4-3-1-2. It's fairly aggressive with 8 depth, 5 width, pressure on heavy touch, and we're playing possession and play style, which I think should play right into Toni Kroos's hands. And it really lines up like this in game. And really what's interesting about this formation is that in possession, it turns into a 3-5-2. Essien tucks between the defenders. Boateng and Ferdinand stay back, and my fullbacks are on balanced attack. Toni Kroos, however, is unbalanced. He is pretty much unbalanced. Oh, I left him on cover wing by accident. I meant to put him on cover center. But he's essentially a balanced CM, and we're really going to test his box-to-box capabilities out. So, after looking at this, let's look at this card. He's a 93 rated card. His SBC looks like a decent value, but you might be wondering, how does he play in game? That's what we're here to find out. He's 6 foot tall. He has medium work rates. He's right-footed. But it doesn't matter. He has a 5-star weak foot. The 3-star skills, as you guys see here. I've played 6 games with him. 2 of them in co-op, 4 of them in rivals, and he has 2 goals and 2 assists. Before we go any further, if you're enjoying the content, do me a big favor, hit the like button down below, and if you're new to the channel, as always, do me a big solid and subscribe to the channel. I can't appreciate enough how much you guys bring me to this channel. So when you look at this card, he is an absolutely massive card. And there's question marks though, despite his really good stats. My first question mark here is the pace, 78 pace. On a 6 foot player, is he going to be fast enough to play the CM role? Is he going to be fast enough to play a CDM role if that's what you want him for? We're going to see. The next question mark here is his 64 aggression, because if you want to play him defensively, or even if you want to play him at CM, is he going to actually have the fight to win those 50-50 balls? We're going to see. I mean, the rest of the stuff here looks amazing. His shooting stats are brilliant, with the 94 long shots being the key stat. Passing-wise, he looks like an absolute maestro. Dribbling-wise, he's gotten the upgrade to the point where now I'm thinking he looks like a very press-resistant card. Is he going to translate in game? I mean, we're going to see when we jump into the gameplay. So let's do it. We're going to jump into the gameplay. I'm going to take you over to our review specialist in the studios, One Star Weak Foot. Take it away. All right, so according to Footbin, this Toni Kroos card is going to cost you $350K to complete the SBC. Is he worth it? I would have to say, as far as pure value for money, I don't think he's quite worth it. But as far as fun, this card is an absolutely fun card, and he's actually a very good card in his own right if you use him to his strengths. Let's talk about it. Starting with his pace, he has 78 pace, and in game, it's about what you'd expect. His acceleration is 82, which means that he accelerates out of certain skill moves better than you would expect, but his 75 sprint speed really limits his utility as a CDM or a CM that's going to cover a lot of space. So you got to surround him with runners, and I do think he does better in a 3-man midfield because of this. Overall, this guy's pace is a 7 out of 10. Next, we'll talk about shooting, and the first thing I got to tell you is, holy crap, this guy's long shot is amazing. He has 94 long shots. He has 98 shot power, so it's not a big surprise. But I did hit a banger with him outside the box, and every time I shot a long shot from a good angle, he was able to test the keeper brilliantly every single time. His attack positioning is very good, and his finishing on either foot is solid as well. Overall, this guy's shooting is an 8 out of 10. His long shots are amazing. His finishing is solid. And his attack position will get him into good positions to score if you set him on balance or better attacking. Next, we'll talk about his passing. And in my opinion, this is by far the best aspect of this card. If your midfield needs a maestro, if you play with a deep line playmaker, you want somebody to send those deep line defense playing through balls or those driven passes with perfect weight, this Kroos card is going to be able to execute that to the highest level. His vision's 94. His short passing is 97. His long passing, once again, is 97. And you definitely notice it in game. All his passes were perfect, brilliantly weighted, and he's an absolute playmaker on this game. I can't talk about his passing enough. And overall, I got to give this guy's passing a 10 out of 10. If you like De Bruyne, Pirlo, Xavi, this card is going to be on that level or better. Next, we'll talk about dribbling, and it was one of the question marks I had going into this episode. Is he going to feel good on the ball? Is he going to feel press resistant? Dribbling is very important for CMs or CDMs on this game. And what I will say, there's two aspects of his dribbling, all right? The way he turns is not that great, especially if the game is delayed. So what I will say is that if you're facing your back to the defender, don't try to turn. Don't try anything too crazy. You may lose the ball if you do that because he feels very average as far as turning goes. What I will say is that if you're facing forwards to the defender, his L1, R1 dribbling is actually very smooth. He keeps the ball very close to his body, and his left stick dribbling is very precise. He feels very tight in those areas. So I think he's somebody, if you play to his strengths and don't try anything too crazy on the ball, he's going to be very, very good on the ball for a midfielder. Overall, this guy's dribbling is an 8 out of 10. Don't try anything too fancy, and he'll be very, very press resistant for you. Next, we'll talk about his defending and physical. And this is the part of the game where I feel like he does let you down. So I wouldn't really necessarily want him to be a main CDM on your team. His stand tackle is 78. His strength is 80. And what I notice is that when he's facing the defender, he's in a good position to put in a challenge. He'll win the ball. But when it comes to those 50-50s, when it comes to those challenges against bigger players, he tends to lose out. And it's not for a lack of his big body type or his strength. It's more so his 64 aggression coming into play. He doesn't really have that bite. He doesn't play for the badge, if that's what you want out of your player. His interceptions were actually surprisingly good, though. He has 87 interceptions. So he's more of a player that has finesse to his game rather than the physical, pure attributes. He has 87 stamina, which is enough to last 90. But if it goes into 120, and if you play pressing, then you might need a sub. Overall, this guy's defending and physical is a 7 out of 10. It's solid, but he's not somebody that's great defensively either. Alright guys, so what's the final verdict on this card? I think this Toni Kroos card is one of the funnest cards I've used on this game. His one-touch passing, his no-look passes, the flair that he has on his game when you get shots and passes off with him is second to none. What I will say is that he's not the most meta card. He's not the fastest card. He's not the best on the ball, and he's not the best defensively. But if you use him to his strengths and you put him next to somebody like a Conte or somebody that can really cover for his deficiencies, you're really going to unlock a brilliant player here. And overall, I got to give him an 8 out of 10. He was a lot of fun to try out, and I suggest him if you're a Real Madrid fan or if you're a fan of Kroos himself. Alright guys, so that's going to be my Flashback Kroos review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next episode, but until then,